Okay, are you not allowed to be on this property? Because according to him, you were like in the driveway.
Well, because that's how, according to the order, I'm supposed to pick them up, and I didn't realize.
Understood. Are you supposed to be on the property?
What?
But the order that she has in her hands state that I guess she's supposed to pick them up. No.
Right here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Alrighty, it's time to talk about these real rich housewives of Georgia, a $100 million divorce court case, body cam videos that I've obtained, and more. It involves Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann once again. Even though you won't see them on screen in these latest body cam videos that I've obtained, you will hear a lot about them in this court case.
Did you just see that?
Guys, here's the thing.
He's being ridiculous, and you know he's being petty. Like, for real. Get out of my face. Out of my car. This is my vehicle, and you have the other vehicle. It is. It's in my name and Brielle's.
You should listen. It's a joint marital asset.
Sir, like,
guys,
it's a joint marital asset.
We're on the verge of like creating a situation we don't need to. So,
This is ridiculous.
but whatever.
Give me my stuff back. Stop taking my belongings.
All of your
you
belongings.
took all of my purses
Tim,
just
these
now.
are joint marital assets.
They're not. It's okay.
An officer he worked for you need to understand these are joint marital assets.
You're doing it to punish me. You're doing it to sell them. You're doing all of it. These purses are not from you.
Just
the gray ones from Lee. Some of them are from. So I'm gonna let them really hear this.
You will hear how Kroy Biermann was outside of Kyle Mowitz's residence yesterday, according to the court papers. Now, this would be earlier this year, and the reasons why. Now, this Kyle guy is Kim Zolciak's new boyfriend, and maybe Kroy isn't happy about her involvement with him.
I'm not doing this. This is narcissistic behavior. I'm not doing this.
I'm just trying to figure out what the
There's nothing to do. You shouldn't even be here. Who called you?
Your kids.
What kid?
You have kids? I don't know. Whoever's in the house.
Yeah, we've been outside this whole time.
What was the argument about?
Our life. Our life.
Okay,
And it's f***ing destroyed.
why is it getting so heated?
Because our life is destroyed. What don't you understand? There's no money. There's no house. We're getting divorced one day and we're not the next.
Okay.
She's f***ing other men. What do you want?
Just calm down.
Calm down, but I don't have a f***ing life. And I don't have somebody who won't listen to me.
Calm down.
Oh, calm down. You want to live this mother?
Look,
you wouldn't have lasted for
down.
a year. You wouldn't have lasted a day in this f***ing house.
Now, sadly, when the marriages of famous people break down, their disagreements start touching the world of true crime. Well, this $100 million divorce case has turned into a set of body cam videos starring this one-time seemingly happy couple, Kyle and Jillian Mowitz, along with the much more famous couple who we have seen in so many body cam videos over the past 2 years. It's ridiculous. So first, let me introduce you to this cast of real life characters. You know, it's not on Bravo, it's on Bodycam. We have Kim Zolciak Biermann. She plays herself, reality TV star, Bodycam video star, I'm calling her. She's been in a lot of them with Kroy Biermann. He plays himself, the one-time football player. You know, they had their meet cute on Real Housewives of Atlanta many years ago. They share many children. And now he's the estranged husband of Kim. And he is reaching out and warning her, would-be, perhaps future husband's ex-wife. Even though no divorces have been finalized yet in this case, in both these cases, he's reaching out and warning, pay attention to Kim. He's going to call her a narcissist, talk about her spending habits, how she might drain this guy dry. Kyle Mowitz, or is it Mowitz? I think it's Mowitz. He is Kim's new boyfriend. He's the rich and estranged husband of Jillian Green. So she goes by either Jillian M. Green, I'm assuming the M is for Mowitz. Either Jillian Mowitz or Jillian M. Green. Jillian is fighting back quite a bit. Jillian is the estranged wife of Kyle, and she is mother to their little 4-year-old twin girls. It's really sad. And unfortunately, sometimes, as we've seen, when divorces happen, when a lot of money and property is involved, emotions can run so high that police often get called. There are disputes. There's more footage on the way that I've requested, but I want to show you what I have now. Is this going to be a Real Housewife swap? You know, they've brought Wife Swap back, starring the Real Housewives. It's pretty good. Well, not according to Jillian. She is not getting with Kroy, even though she has met Kroy and he has given her warnings and they have been in communication for like a couple of months or so. She has a different boyfriend. Oh boy, let's get it started. You are going to see the paperwork where Kroy has warned that Kim is, quote, narcissistic and had a gambling problem. And, quote, she wasn't present for her children. That's pretty sad. We've heard those allegations from Kroy over the past years. He's said he was the one, holding down the fort, taking care of their children while Kim was off. He accused her of gambling away like $1.5 million. And remember the body cam? I'll probably find this footage. And he says she just scrolls on her phone and she can play some kind of gambling on her phone, which is pretty scary.
It is. Because, you guys have been together for a long time, and I understand. Do you think that there's any chance of you guys ever reconciling or figuring it out? Or?
She has to go to rehab. She has to go. She has some significant issues. She has, like I said, 2 major compulsive behavioral addictions: the gambling and the overspending, probably alcohol abuse. And she has childhood trauma, PTSD, narcissism, and some severe unresolved issues that she.
Is that something that you guys have went to together? Or you're saying knowing her that
we tried to go to couples counseling, and then what she did is use what he said and manipulated and created false boundaries to continue the abuse. Right, so she runs away to stonewall and avoid because she, quote, needs privacy because the counselor said that humans deserve privacy. Right, so it's refusing to resolve problems.
Trying to use it as an agenda.
Weaponizing everything and what gets her to continue to have control. And she's got control over everything in the entire marriage from everything, absolutely everything, money and companies and what we do and how we do it and where we go. And it's just textbook. It's literal textbook. And our older daughter.
Have you fought back against that the entire time, or you just recently have just said,
periodically in the beginning, and it was very minimal, but certain things happened that she got very upset about, did not handle it appropriately. There was no infidelity or anything like that. I've been a stand-up husband for, in my opinion, for this entire marriage, and there's been times where I have reacted the wrong way to the abuse that I have received.
That's part of the growth, though. That's growth.
And that process has just, or that problem has gotten worse. And I think the gambling has just melted her brain. It's like it's on. There's no.
Has that been something that's gone on the whole time, or is that a recent thing?
So it's easy to, or it's not easy, but it's much more manageable when you have to go to a physical location to gamble. Right? There's no casinos here in Georgia. You have to go to Cherokee online, which is illegal. But it's.
You got everything? Okay, part in my name. Oh, and my daughter's name. Okay. And he has the other key to it. So how does that work? I don't know. I'm gonna go talk to them and talk to privately so you get fired up and hear that conversation. Well, Leslie, 1190 code 4.
The minute she wakes up to the minute she goes to bed in the middle of the night, it's I can't even imagine that how somebody can do that for that long.
What kind of gambling?
Slot machines. And she thinks that she knows
to push the button.
Literally, she on her phone she'll push the button and the reels will spin on her phone. It's like a
that you don't have a really probability of winning on that. The odds are low on that one because it's computer. It's not like luck or skill or anything.
No.
Apologize.
I mean, I know we have video or we have a photo of Kim many years ago in some kind of a casino. I think that might have been from their Don't Be Tardy show. They were a famous couple. But now, Kim will, quote, drain money from Kyle. We'll see the documents where Kroy said that. On the flip side, Kim's boyfriend, Kyle, is worrying about Kroy's mental health. He's worried about why Kroy was outside of his home. You know, the lawyers are going to ask Jillian, okay, are you worried about Kroy being around your children? Is that what Kyle was worried about? We'll get to all of that. Did Kyle tell Jillian he worries about Kroy being around their little twin girls? Jillian does answer that question in her 252-page deposition transcript. I've been so into this case. You guys know how much I was into, Kim and Kroy's drama, getting that body cam video footage. Now that Kim's name is being associated with this new guy, this new couple in the midst of this $100 million divorce, of course I had to get you guys all the footage and all the documents I could. So look for the link below to download the videos if you want the raw version of these videos I'm about to show you on the timeline, and if you want the documents for yourself. I was like, I gotta have it. I mean, so far it's nearly $200 in, because maybe even more. I got the videos, but the documents. I mean, you can go on Fulton County and see for yourself. Jillian's 252-page transcript, I'm glad they put it out there. The court charged me $126. And you guys know I like to see it for myself. I don't like to just go by what other media outlets are reporting. I want to see it for myself, these quotes, and boy, did they give it to us. So you will see everything Jillian has to say coming up. And I'm hoping perhaps they'll do the same thing with Kim Zolciak's deposition. Sounds like she sat for a deposition, even though she fought it and fought it and fought it. She finally sat for one. I hope they transcribe it and let us purchase it. If so, I'll give you guys the updates. Kim. What should we call her? Kim, what should we call her? She's not a homewrecker, according to Jillian. Now, that's one reason I like to get the actual facts, because I've seen comments flying around the web as soon as Kim has introduced everyone to her new boyfriend, and people got photos of her having a sleepover at her new boyfriend's house. The immediate comments came, they're calling Kim a homewrecker, blah, blah, blah. Look, she's ruining this man's marriage. Well, no. According to his wife, Jillian, Kim is not a homewrecker. She did not come in there and break up their marriage. Kim did not start seeing Kyle like years and years ago or something. But people are always fascinated with Kim Zolciak. Men have been falling in love with her and lavishing her with plenty of gifts since 2003. At the earliest, when Kim reportedly spent around 3 months, quote, making a lot of money as a cocktail waitress, that's the info I could find, inside of Atlanta's premier gentleman's establishment. It's called the Cheetah Club, and Kim went under the name Barbie. So I was like, wait, do the cocktail waitresses need these names too? Maybe Kim didn't want anyone to know her real name. One insider said about those days years ago, she didn't do it for long, but was very popular among the crowd. So Kim has something that just, draws people to her. I mean, I don't know. I've been watching her all these years. And so I'm thinking 2003, is that where she met the Big Papa? So Big Papa was Kim's nickname for this guy named Lee Najir. I wonder if he's still married. Back then, he was her married sugar daddy during the early seasons of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, famously, remember when Nene said to Kim, it was during one of those reunions, "Close your legs to married men." That's one of those sayings that has become ubiquitous. It's just lived on in Real Housewife infamy for more than 2 decades. I can probably easily find the meme and drop it here. Close your legs to married men. And Kim just stared at Nene like, oh, how dare you? I'm sure Nene was referencing Lee, because Lee was indeed married. He was a real estate executive. He financially supported Kim's lifestyle. Allegedly, he paid for her townhouse and Range Rover. And way back then, she only had the 2 girls. You know, they were so young back then. And I'm like, maybe Kim didn't feel the need to stay at the Cheetah Club too long, because maybe Big Papa just snatched her up out of there as fast as rapper Mace took Eve out of a strip club after only 2 months. But back then, rapper Mace was encouraging Eve to, you know, go on, pursue your rap career. And he was right. But now for Kim, 20 years later, it seems Kim might have a new rich papa to rescue her out of her troubles. And his name is Kyle Mowitz. And folks still can't help watching Kim and her antics and her lifestyle after all these years. My video from October 30th, 2023, so wow, that's almost 2 years old now. It's titled Kim Zolciak, May 4th, 2023, Full 911 Call and Police Bodycam Video with Husband Kroy Biermann. Gambling, purses, that's where Kroy really spilt the beans. That's where they were really fighting. Now that is currently my most viewed video that's still on this YouTube channel. It's sitting at, last time I checked, nearly 384,000 views, counting upwards still. Watch it below. I'll put the link down there if you haven't seen it. And they were fighting a lot, of course, unfortunately. The kids were there. Kim and Kroy were fighting. They called the police. Kim is trying to load all her materialistic things in her Range Rover. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this the same telltale white Range Rover amid all that drama at Kim and Kroy's house that was sitting in the driveway of her new rich boyfriend's house in this August 16th, 2025 bodycam video that I just purchased? I think it probably was. I was like, whoa, and that white Range Rover will come up again as another character. It's actually mentioned in all these court documents. I dropped a bunch of ducats to buy these court documents. I wanted to hear Jillian's words, you know? Very fascinating. In these court documents, you're going to see the white Range Rover comes into play because Kim was driving it when she was finally subpoenaed. And she's going to talk about how embarrassing it was, or her lawyer, rather, will talk about how embarrassing it was. Was it Kim's lawyer? It's some lawyer. So embarrassing for Kim to be subpoenaed at her son's football game, and the white Range Rover is mentioned. So you're about to learn a lot. I've been studying this for days and days and writing this script and pulling out the most interesting part. I literally read through more than 200 pages. I mean, wow. You're going to learn how she landed herself in the middle of this rich divorce happening in Fulton Superior Court, even as her own divorce isn't finalized. And you're going to learn about the contested dramatic divorce of Kyle Mowitz versus Jillian M. Green. And we'll even watch the bodycam videos in this timeline. The reason there are bodycam videos, the police showed up due to disturbances that happened outside of a $2.74 million, 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom home in Alpharetta, Georgia this year. This isn't even the largest home. Boy, just wait till we see the other body cam videos, God willing, in Jesus' name. But more brouhahas have occurred previously on the timeline I'll go through, and I've also requested that body cam video footage, so stay tuned. So wouldn't you know it, this former Real Housewife of Atlanta star Kim, even though she's not appearing in these 2025 videos yet that I've gotten, her name is heavily involved with this married couple. The 40-year-old Kroy has warned the 41-year-old Jillian about the 47-year-old Kim's spending habits. So in the midst of all this, Kim has gone public with her new boyfriend. I guess she can't help it because, you know, what, the telephoto lens are catching them on their sleepovers and everything. So she's gone public with him, and she's even answered questions, Kim, on Instagram as Jillian, the wife, is questioning her husband Kyle's alleged fraudulent activities. Her words, not mine. He fights back at all these fraud allegations. Now, recently, in October 2025, Kim has been gushing about a new boyfriend, Kyle, on social media. She's not keeping it a secret, even though her divorce isn't final. Maybe it's hard for her to keep it a secret. Kim wrote, "Ask me a question, you will get the actual truth." As if she doesn't give the truth other times. Someone wrote, "Are you dating anyone?" She's like, "Yes, heart eyes. Almost 2 years after I filed for divorce, I went on my first date and we have been together since." Now, Kim and Kroy have filed for divorce so much, I was like, okay, Google, tell me, when did they first file for divorce? Allegedly, Kim first filed for divorce from Kroy on May 8th, 2023, after 11 years of marriage. So, indeed, it might have been May 2025 when she went on her first date with Kyle, or I kind of have my suspicions that it might have been a little bit earlier, and you'll see why, but that's what she's saying. May 2025, her first date with Kyle, and they've been together ever since. And she does have a type, rich, first of all, rich, and just similar build. Kyle almost has that Kroy look, almost like a football player build, short hair. They look similar to me. Even though Kim first filed for divorce allegedly back in May 2023, they reconciled. We saw the body cam videos. They're like back and forth. Kroy supposedly filed again in August 2023, and then again there was another filing in July 2023 before the August one, but now I see Kroy has filed again in 2025. None of it's final. You guys might remember my video. I literally sat in on one of their divorce hearings. I was amazed the judge gave me access to sit in. She did not allow me to record it, which is a good thing. It was weird. It's weird when a divorce is touching the true crime arena, where people who loved each other can't get along enough anymore, where they just can't mediate their divorce quietly. And we wouldn't have really known about it all if Kim and Kroy hadn't kept calling the police and all these body cam video footage and going nuts. That's when it became more of a spectacle than it had to be. So Kim did not happen to mention on Instagram that her divorce is dragging on, it's not final, and her boyfriend's wife has a lot to say about her, about a lot. Now, a source had told TMZ that Kyle has even met with Kim's children. That would be Kim and Kroy's children. They still have juvenile children as well. So maybe that's why Kroy was hanging out outside of Kyle's house, making Kyle nervous. There's going to be talk about weapons and who has what. I didn't get into all 252 pages. I just pulled out certain snippets. So again, if you want to read the whole sordid story, the link's below. It's really sad. Now, someone asked Kim, is it hard to be vulnerable with another man? And she said yes. However, Kyle and I went through the exact same situation, so we identify with each other. Prayer hands, heart. So Kim is comparing all her drama with Kroy to Kyle's drama with Jillian. So let's tell this story in order. First, a little background, and you'll get to know Jillian and Kyle and their drama better. So Kim is connected to this $100 million divorce between Kyle and Jillian. You hear $100 million divorce, and the first thing you're like, or the first thing I was like, is, whoa, how did this man get all this money? Where did Kyle make all this money? Now, apparently it sounds like it's from real estate, but his wife is going to say she was kept in the dark about a lot of his machinations with his money. Now, there was a 2018 article, and Kyle's wife, Jillian, is saying she didn't know Kyle was going to do any of this. It's about Florida State University. Shout out Tallahassee. Went to FAMU. Rattler strike. No. Anyway, it says the FSU network is amazing. So Kyle gave $100,000 to Florida State University. He graduated from there in 2003 with his bachelor's degree in real estate and finance. And he's the co-founder and managing partner of the Imperium Companies and the Imperium Blue Management. They're based in Fort Lauderdale and Atlanta with a combined $3 billion in total assets. So, whoa, that's where he got his money. Now, you can also see Kyle listed. I went back, and this man has a long work history. Apparently, it just seems like he's one of those types that gets in there, works hard, and just shoots to the top, and maybe is a leader, smart. He's director, or was, of Discern, the world's only NIH gold standard validated test, highly accurate in identifying the presence or absence of Alzheimer's disease in a patient. So there's a lot he's been through. CEO of Imperium Blue again, and now it's saying manages over $4.5 billion in assets. Wow. So who knows? There's a lot of money going around with Kyle. Also coming up, we are going to discuss how Kim was fighting the subpoena, but she was forced to spill the beans, sit for a deposition. She didn't want it to expose her to unnecessary embarrassment. My question is, will we ever get to read Kim's interview transcript, her deposition, just like we're about to read the highlights of Jillian's? I hope so. Jillian wants answers about everything Kyle has given to Kim. And this is after Kroy has warned Jillian Kim's going to drain money from him and she has a gambling problem. So any wife and mother of 2-year-old twin girls would be concerned. Jillian's not even divorced yet. She's going to talk about all these different actions she believes, Kyle made to either hide money or keep things secret from her that she only discovered maybe recently. So you can't blame her for being worried about Kim being in Kyle's life, having a gambling problem, Kroy showing up in those body cam videos that it's weird. Jillian says she never saw any of them. I find that strange. Like, she's in that area. A lot of people have seen those body cam videos. I mean, nearly 500,000 people on this channel alone watched them. Not to say the people who reacted to my videos and then they were on TMZ. Many, many people have seen those. It's strange to me that Jillian would not have. But anyway, in those videos where Kroy says, Kim gambled away like $1.5 million. Yes, any wife would be worried, oh, Kim is now in my husband's life. How much is she going to drain from him before this whole divorce is final? So let's start the clock. I'm going to start it in 2024. Jillian meets with a divorce lawyer, and Kim and Kroy keep starring in all those body cam videos. It started in 2023, as you guys just read. By 2024, Kroy's accusations, she's effing other men, and all that stuff, it just kept going the entire year. But over on the side of Jillian and Kyle, in April 2024, this is what the lawyer is asking Jillian. When he asked you whether you had met or hired a divorce attorney, Jillian said, I said, Kyle, at this point, I don't know what more there is to do. We have been to therapy numerous times. We don't talk to each other. We don't communicate. We don't get along. I don't want our girls to be raised, and see a dynamic like this with their parents. Some of this stuff is sad, and you'll find more details in the documents, but to see the breakdown of a marriage and how people can begin treating each other. Jillian and Kyle met each other on a plane. She said they've been together like 18 years, and I guess married for 8. So nearly 20 years ago, she was about 20, and they meet on a plane, and I don't know, it's just sad to me to see the breakdown. Ironically, like I said, 2024, Kim and Kroy are starring in body cam video after body cam video arguing about property, and apparently Jillian is having this conversation with Kyle like, this isn't working out. She met with her first divorce attorney. This is what makes me wonder, when did Kim and Kyle really meet? Because on December 15th, 2024, 2 days before Kyle's new home was sold, to him, I presume, was it to him to, get away? They're going to talk about in the documents, Kyle moving out, moving away from Jillian. Apparently he bought this house December 17th. But 2 days before that, December 15th, 2024, Kim and Kroy were in body cam video at their own house arguing over their property. Things were winding down. Kim was trying to get out of there. Kyle's new house, where all this body cam brouhaha has happened, some of it, half of it. Some of it happens at Jillian's house. That's the body cam video we're waiting on. Kyle's house was listed for sale and it was sold on December 17th, 2024. I'm like, did he purchase that home just for himself and for when he would have his girls? Or did he purchase it knowing, Kim could maybe move in here with me? I don't know if she lives with him, but Kim had apparently hired a moving truck on December 15th, and Kroy didn't want to let the moving truck leave, so that's why it was that, brouhaha then. Kim was being squirrely about where she was moving. Of course, she didn't want to mention it on body cam. I understand that. But I'm like, oh, did she know she was already moving into that fabulous home with Kyle? Had she met him? Had she already gone on her date with him?
The Marilyn Monroe, let's get that one. That's mine from Cup. I'm gonna get it. I'll get it and give it to you.
Property is it? Well, okay, but I guess you can't prevent that truck from leaving, sir.
I can't prevent that truck. It's on my property. So when it pulls down on that property, it's down on my property. There's no law that says
that truck is not yours.
There's no law that says I cannot.
He's doing a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to get my stuff out.
Sarge, what do you need there?
No, you're good. I'm in the center, just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, okay.
We have a court order for some items that are mine. I own the majority of this furniture before I ever met Kroy.
Okay.
Like my office, the dining room, all sorts of things. When I went to LA a couple of weeks ago, I came home and he stole a bunch of stuff. Okay. Every pot and pan out of it. We had 3 full kitchens. Pots and pans, you name it, it's gone. So I started to move my stuff out.
Okay.
And that's mine.
Yes, ma'am. You guys are married?
Yeah, we're going through a divorce.
So you're still married, though?
Yes.
Okay.
And he has harassed this company so many times. I go to sleep and he moves.
So this is your moving truck right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And this has happened 3 other times.
Yes, ma'am.
He can steal everything, but then when I try, there's only a treadmill in there, an ottoman, and this stuff is being moved for this.
And you understand? I think we've spoken before. It's both yours. You know that with married.
Right.
Yes.
But he's already stolen. So like it's just. Listen, I don't even have a furnished room in this house. He's taken it all. The kitchen table. I wake up Thanksgiving morning to no furniture, no, kitchen table, no bar stools for my kids, no food, no nothing.
Is the truck leaving now then?
Yeah, no, they got a couple boxes from my hair salon, which is my hair products.
Okay.
And they're trying to look. You can put the boxes in now. It's a great time to do that, guys.
Anyway, don't worry. Jillian has an even more expensive, fabulous house, but that's still not stopping her from fighting for all that hidden manna that's hers in this divorce. I don't blame her. So basically here we've got 4 pretty people at the heart of 2 viral divorces that everyone's probably going to start watching. My question is, will this sadness, families breaking apart, no one likes that, especially when children are involved. Will it result in even more police calls? You're about to hear some police calls and more body cam videos like the ones you're about to watch. All right, let's move to February 2025. This was big. By the start of 2025, Jillian has already met with a divorce attorney. I don't know when she gave the retainer, but she was obviously looking already. Kyle must have known. They're having these discussions. They're like, look, therapy's not working. Kyle offers Jillian $25 million. She rejects it. Now, that's how you know you have some money at stake. I think he wanted to just pay her a flat-out fee, maybe, I don't know if that included. We don't have a ton of details on that $25 million offer. She just mentions it a couple of times in her deposition. Jillian does. $25 million from her estranged husband. You know how they say it's cheaper to keep her. I see why. But I see why too. She rejected it. This man is worth a lot. I don't know if that would have included child support and alimony or what have you. But she knew, look, no, $25 million isn't enough compared to how much, you're worth. I guess how much she must be thinking, how much I've been with you. Nearly 20 years, nearly 2 decades, I'm sure. She has helped support him, if not financially, just, emotionally and everything along his journey. So an argument ensues after that $25 million offer was rejected. Jillian said something about that I've rejected. I believe it was a $25 million offer. I think it was in February and then she's getting cut off. Jillian saying, I believe Kathy called you. Maybe she's talking to her husband's lawyer. And the offer was rejected, and we had said that we would like to have a call about the trust. We're going to get into that. He called me up. I was in the girls' room, and he just went off on me. This is Jillian saying Kyle was so mad she rejected his $25 million offer. She says, I was up in the girls' room, and he just went off on me. And I was trying to, it became more heated because I was trying to reason with him, and I couldn't. So That doesn't sound good. Later about this same incident, this is February 2025, apparently Kyle called the police, correct? That's what the lawyer is asking her. I believe so, Jillian says. I believe he did. Okay, and did you call the police beforehand? I didn't, she says. Okay, did you call the police after you learned that Kyle had called the police? No. Jillian said, I believe my cousin called when it was happening. Okay, your cousin, Eric's wife, correct? Yes. Okay, and nobody was arrested, correct? Correct. And did you learn that the police informed Kyle that he had the right to ask Eric to leave his property? So even though this is, the old house where Jillian lives, and I guess Kyle no longer lived there, it was still Kyle's property. Jillian's lawyer chimes in and says, I'm going to object to the form of the question. She would have no idea. And this other lawyer, I don't like him. I don't like Kyle's lawyer. Even just on paper, I'm like, ew. He said, I'm asking if she learned about it. And Jillian's lawyer says, first of all, I didn't even know the police showed up, but we have no idea what. So we got to see if there's really body cam video or if it's just a call. Anyway, Kyle's lawyer said, did you talk to the police? Jillian said, no, I left with the dogs because I wanted to get away. And when you left with the dogs, who stayed back? I don't know. So Jillian was out of there. If there is body cam video footage, we might not see Jillian on it, maybe only Kyle and other people. This brouhaha happened in February 2025 because according to Jillian, her husband, Kyle, was threatening to take the dogs. So there was some kind of argument over the dogs. Apparently Jillian got video of it because you can see in the transcript they're referencing video. They're like, oh, let's watch the video. That stuff sounds like it was caught on personal videos. How much was caught on body cam videos, we shall see. But that's sad. Jillian's trying to say, Kyle offered me 25 mil. I rejected it. He got mad and went off on me. Boo. There was dogs in the middle of it. These accusations. I don't know if she's trying to say Kyle wanted revenge by coming to take the dogs or something. And then her cousin or her family members were there trying to help. And then Kyle's kicking them out. Like, it's still my house or whatever. You see, it just gets so emotional and so messy with divorces. It doesn't have to. It does not have to. Now, February 21st, 2025, Kroy files for divorce. So I've dug back into, the Peach court system, Fulton County system, and all these systems to find the actual paperwork. So Kroy has filed for divorce. Cobb Superior, dissolution, divorce, separate maintenance, alimony, that's just the title of the case. Kroy is the petitioner, Kroy Evan Biermann, and the respondent is Kimberly Marie Zolciak. Will they finally get divorced? I understand why it takes people so long, especially when children are involved and especially when there's been so much deep love. Deep, deep love. I mean, I got divorced back in the day. What year was it? I don't even know. In the 90s? I was only married like maybe 3 years and no children. We didn't own any property together. It was just easy. I did it myself, pro se, and, write it up. But here, it's a lot more, obviously. March 14th, 2025. Kyle files his complaint for divorce and other relief. So this is where we get details about Kyle and Jillian. They were lawfully married on or about June 24th, 2017. They're living in a bona fide state of separation, 2 minor children born in 2021. Now this is the part that Jillian's going to take issue with. Husband shows that additional grounds for divorce exist. But in the spirit of cooperation and privacy, he has elected not to include same in this initial filing. She's going to be like, what? Why are you trying to shade me, making it sound like you have all these other grounds to divorce me, but you just won't mention them? That makes people, think the worst. Oh, what did Jillian do to him? April 10th, 2025. Now, Kim and Kroy agreed to this consent confidentiality order I found. It says, neither party shall disclose any confidential info, financial, clickbait postings. I know that was seriously for Kim Zolciak. That was really for her. Because remember when she was probably making money doing all those little clickbait postings with those weird websites where it was almost like, R.I.P. Kroy, and it freaked her daughters out. Ariana was like, my heart. people are sending me this, like, is everything okay? And, it had all these weird clickbait titles that just were worrisome. Maybe that's why this confidentiality order came into play. Okay, so only 8 days later after that, Kim and Kroy are like, oh, let's agree to make things confidential and not all in the press if we can help it. 8 days after that, April 18th, 2025, Jillian is fighting back against Kyle's allegations in his divorce filing. Jillian is submitting this answer to him, basically, showing the court it's in the best interest of the children that Jillian have primary physical custody, subject to Kyle's reasonable parenting time. The parties can share joint legal custody. If only it would turn out that way. As you'll see in some upcoming body cam videos, it wasn't so simple. They have an order, you'll see coming up. It was just sad to me. They have an order. Jillian's going to be sitting in the driveway. She's going to show the cop her, text like, oh, wait, am I coming to get the girls or you, or whatever they have. And if it wasn't all this hurt and this background that I'm giving you to show you in order, logically, chronologically, why things are going so badly. She was sitting in the driveway and Kyle's like, oh, she's just sitting there. And he's calling the police, and she moves out of the driveway and sitting on the street. The girls are right there in the house. She's kind of like, okay, I was just coming to get them. I see, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get them. And he's kind of like, oh no, if it weren't a divorce in order, if it were two non-hurt people, rational people, I'm not saying they're not rational, but you know how hurt can make you feel, especially when you're talking about an estranged spouse. It could have just been like, oh, whatever, misunderstanding. The girls are right here. Okay, go right out to mommy. It would have been over. It would have been no need to call the police. You'll see. So Jillian's saying, I want primary custody and, work it out with Kyle whenever his days should be. But it says she denies the remaining allegations of paragraph 11 to the extent that the allegations are deemed to suggest or imply that Kyle has any other legal grounds for this divorce. Like, don't be making it seem like I'm some slut or whatever you're trying to say, And this is where it says the parties, Kyle and Jillian, have shared an intimate relationship for 18 years. That's a long time, but I think they must have met. She's 41 now, so let me do the math. They must have met when she was 23. So it took them quite a while to get married. Now, I understand when you're really young, some people it might take 10 years or whatever because people feel too young to get married. So they've been married 8 years. They've lived together 8 years as husband and wife. So she's 41 now. Kyle is going to get her age wrong, but she's 41 now. She was 33 when they got married. I don't know if he was just kind of waiting or what. So it says on or around 2021, Kyle consulted with this Brian Galat. They talk about this guy. So this was only 3 years ago, regarding forming some kind of a trust that would prevent the assets created by the parties' joint investment during the marriage from being included in an equitable division of assets should the parties divorce. Now, this was only 3 years ago. I don't blame Jillian for having a problem with this. She even calls him out. Look, he was engaged in an extramarital affair. They named this other woman in Idaho. He was contemplating a divorce at the time he created and funded this trust. So that's the shadiness that Jillian is attributing to her husband. This Galat guy drafted the trust for Kyle and named the trust after the party's pet dog, Hudson. So Jillian is like, look, Kyle told me this trust exists, but he lied to me about the purpose and effect of the trust, particularly in the event there was a divorce. So she's saying, look, Kyle just told me, honey, he handled the money. Obviously, he's a smart guy. He had his bachelor's degree in business or real estate and finance and all that. Makes sense. He handled the money. That's just how their marriage worked. Okay. Jillian said, this trust I'm setting up, Kyle said, it'll always protect and provide financially for you, Jillian, and our children. He also told her, Kyle told her, which could be true too, of course, this trust will protect us. We won't have to pay as many taxes. He was calling it more like a tax shelter. This is something that'll provide for you. But she's saying, wait a minute, did he file this and thinking, okay, we're about to get divorced? Even back then, they were having problems. There's this woman, she alleges, out in Idaho he had an affair with, and even though he never confessed to actually sleeping with the woman, it's all in the details. Oh my goodness. Jillian is saying, I didn't know this trust could be set up as some separate place to hide money that wouldn't be considered marital assets. So it says, before filing for divorce, Kyle didn't provide Jillian a copy of this trust. Instead, Kyle just reassured her the trust would always protect her financially. So no wonder she rejected that $25 million. Who knows what's sitting up in that trust? I mean, all these numbers being thrown around. Hundreds of millions of dollars that he's worth, or worth perhaps billions, I have no idea. And he's just like, here, honey, you take 25 million. Of course, it sounds like a lot to any of us who don't make anywhere near that much, have not even touched $1 million per year in our lifetimes yet. In Jesus' name, we pray we do, but we want to be good stewards of it. We don't want to hide it or be shady. And anyway, Jillian says Kyle did not disclose to her that he transferred the majority of the assets created by their joint investments during the marriage to this trust. She is demanding a jury trial on issues that are triable. I don't blame her. I do not blame her. I mean, yeah. Okay, I get it. She likes the finer things in life. The lawyer's going to get into the nannies and the help she's had and all this stuff. But yet and still, if you've been there for someone nearly 20 years, I don't know, if you've taken care of house and home and then you have his twin children, that's no easy feat. And then if you're making life comfortable and then he goes off and has an affair, you try and forgive him, you guys go through counseling, that's a lot to go through. And if he's just like, okay, what if there's $1 billion sitting somewhere and it's kind of like, oh, just take this 25 million. I don't know. I don't blame her for fighting. May 5th, 2025, hundreds of millions and Kyle's alter ego named after their dog. It was interesting that Jillian called it his alter ego. So Jillian filed the motion. She wanted to add Hudson Family Advisors, LLC, as the trustee of this Hudson Family Trust. So among other things, she's saying, look, it's this Hudson Family Trust is holding assets that should be, marital assets, equitable division. She's even claiming, I'm just quoting her allegations, these are not mine, nobody come after me. The court documents stated, she's claiming this trust received fraudulent transfers of assets earned during the party's marriage and is Kyle's alter ego. Isn't that interesting to call it that? Jillian saying Kyle hired this Brian Galat guy in 2021 to form this Hudson Family Trust. At that time, Jillian says Kyle had an extramarital relationships, yet he represented to Jillian that the purpose of forming the trust was to, lower their tax liabilities, claiming, look, it'll always be there to protect you. It says Kyle transferred hundreds of millions of dollars, according to his own valuation. Whoa, I just saw that. She's like, look, according to how you value it, Kyle transferred hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's not even 100 million. We shouldn't even say $100 million divorce. She's saying hundreds of million. How many hundreds? Is it like 900 million? That's almost $1 billion. How much did he transfer to this trust? He transferred all these assets, hundreds of millions of assets earned during Kyle and Jillian's marriage into that Hudson Family Trust in contemplation of divorce while representing, oh, don't worry, honey, all of that will always protect you. I'm creating that trust just to save on taxes. It'll protect you guys. It says, from all appearances, Kyle formed that trust, though, contemplating divorce for the purpose of, putting these assets away beyond Jillian's reach when he filed for divorce. And it says, since the date the Hudson Family Trust was formed, Kyle has exercised control of that entity, directing the transfers of millions of dollars into and out of that trust. All right, so May 2025, Jillian's lawyer is emailing Kyle's lawyer about coordinating Kim's deposition. This is another reason I don't think Kim just started dating Kyle in May 2025. Maybe she did. Okay. But it must have been common knowledge that Kim was already dating Kyle by May 2025. When did they start dating? Because on May 15th, 2025, Jillian's lawyer emailed Kyle's lawyer as like, wait a minute, let's coordinate Kim's deposition here. If she had just started dating Kyle, Kim and Kyle just started dating in May, I mean, technically, yeah, maybe they found out about it and they wanted Kim to sit for a deposition, but that sounds awfully quick. You know, May 15th, 2025, and Kim is claiming that's when they had their first date. I mean, I don't know. Even if she went on her first date with Kyle, I'll give Kim the benefit of the doubt, like I always like to do for people. If she started dating Kyle May 1st, let's say, 2025, you mean 2 weeks later, on May 15th, Jillian's lawyer is already going to be emailing Kyle's lawyer to say, can we have Kim sit for a deposition in our divorce case? Like a woman he just started dating 2 weeks prior? Anyway, they'd probably been dating for 6 months by then, I bet you, at least. Anyway, they're going back and forth about, okay, Kim will be copied on future communications regarding her deposition scheduling, and then 2 days later, May 17th, Lillian's lawyer emailed Kim's lawyer asking, okay, will you accept service of this non-party subpoena and coordinate Kim's deposition? Because Kim is a non-party to this divorce. She's involved only peripherally. She needs to be subpoenaed. And then the next day, a lawyer responded, yes, okay. This Rubin Family Law LLC will accept service of Kim's non-party subpoena. They'll cooperate in getting Kim to sit down for a deposition, with one important caveat, that the use of and access to Kim's deposition be restricted in light of her public profile and her own pending divorce action. So they're trying to, keep Kim's stuff under wraps. You know, the way it's open public records. That's how I'm able to read Jillian's deposition. But Kim, she's trying to say, it's like an oxymoron. She's too famous. She doesn't want hers out there. She wants it private. She's going through her own divorce, blah, blah, blah. The lawyer proposed a confidentiality agreement be used as the vehicle to protect Kim's privacy and still allow her deposition to move forward. So that seems ostensibly, they say, indicating her assent. On May 21st, 2025, a lawyer emailed and asked another lawyer, prepare a draft of this confidentiality agreement for consideration. Then on May 22nd, 2025, a lawyer sent the proposed, consent order restricting the use of Kim's deposition for her review and approval. And then another lawyer replied on May 28th, 2025, indicating, look, this proposed order is, quote, way too restrictive and complicated. So it must have been all the legalese. No wonder lawyers get paid so much. Can you imagine in this case? They're probably like, I can't even imagine the billable hours or even their per hour charges. Basically, no revisions were suggested, no feedback provided, but it says instead, basically Jillian's lawyer was silent on this matter for nearly 4 months, and we'll read about this later in the timeline more, until Saturday, September 20th, 2025, when Kim was personally and publicly served with her subpoena during her son's high school football game. Because I was like, wait, they caught her in a parking lot, and it's kind of gone around a little bit. Not the video, just the document of her being subpoenaed. And it's like, okay, that was her telltale white Range Rover. They found her in a high school parking lot at a football game. You've been served, Kim. They're trying to say, oh, she got embarrassed. It's so public. More on Kim's deposition later. June 16th, 2025. Jillian is spilling the beans all in her deposition. This is where she sits down. She talks for a long time. Apparently, she gets questioned quite a bit. It must have lasted for hours. I wish we had this video, but I'll tell you the broad strokes. This is where the warning from Kroy about Kim's spending habits comes into play, and Kyle's worries about Kroy's mental health comes into play. The deposition transcript of Jillian M. Green, find that notice of filing PDF below. 252 pages, $126. When I saw that on the Fulton, that might be the most expensive I've ever paid for a document on Fulton's court website. Woo! But I said I gotta get it because I gotta bring you guys facts, not fiction. So she starts out saying Jillian said Kyle and I wanted to move outside of South Florida for a different lifestyle. I don't know if they lived in the Fort Lauderdale area where, they were based. Their business is still based. But she said they just wanted more of a family-oriented lifestyle setting. They moved to Atlanta in January of 2021. And no wonder she was pregnant at some point that year, I guess, with the twins. Maybe she was already pregnant when they moved. And so they were thinking more of a family-oriented place. Here we go. This is when Kroy's name is mentioned. First, on page 19, they're like, look, Jillian, did you talk to Kroy Biermann about this deposition? No. Okay, says the lawyer. Who is Kroy Biermann? The husband of Kim Zolciak Biermann. Okay, and how do you know Kroy? He reached out to me. He called me. Okay, to tell you what? About Kyle and Kim's involvement and his concern. And what concern did he have? Specifically, that he expressed to you regarding Kim and Kyle, that he was concerned for both myself and Kyle to be involved with her. And why was he concerned? What did he say about her mental state or physical state that led him to tell you that he was concerned? That financially she would drain money from Kyle. From Kyle? Yes. Okay, and as you sit here today, do you have any knowledge whether she has, in fact, tried to do that? I have knowledge of her having deliveries of groceries and Instacart on his credit card. Boom! She got that lawyer. Might I say, those of us who've watched The Next Gen NYC, and we know Ariana, I'm not going to call her Grande, I always want to say that, Ariana, Zolciak Biermann, whatever she goes by. Her mom, Kim, she was even a problem there. Ariana talked about her and her sister and their influencer money they made back in the day. And granted, I get it, kids making money, making content, that's so controversial, but she says Kim spent her money. Now you would hope Kim, like she's saying, I spent it on bills or whatever, but with Kroy throwing these gambling accusations out there, it is worrisome, and it became a problem even in Ariana, and isn't her boyfriend's name Hudson too? That's just so wild. I think it is Hudson, yeah. I did videos about them too. They've broken up. That was a source of contention in their relationship too. Ariana's boyfriend was like, look, you're always giving your mom money. Basically, you got to cut her off, and that's hard because Ariana's like, look, she's my mom. So I just feel bad. So now Jillian is saying, look, I have knowledge of Kim having deliveries of groceries and Instacart on Kyle, his credit card. This is Jillian's husband still. Okay, and how did you become aware of that? Kroy? And did he show you anything to support that? Yes. What did he show you? He showed the Instacart orders and the credit card number. And were you able to match that credit card to Kyle's credit card? Yes. And did you add up how much in those charges? No, I did not. Okay, did you ask Kyle about that? No. Okay, and did you take any pictures of those documents, of those Instacart orders or anything? Okay, now Jillian's lawyer chimes in. I like this, Miss Portnoy. It reminds me of that Portnoy's complaint. That book or whatever it was. I haven't read. Anyway, Jillian's lawyer, Miss Portnoy, says, let me show their exhibits that you received this morning. And this Salamites, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Kyle's lawyer, Salamiani, maybe? I don't like him. Anyway, he goes, they're in there? Miss Portnoy says, yes. He says, okay, all right. So, her lawyer's with it, like, look, we gave you these exhibits, we gave you these. So he says, so you supplied those to your attorneys then? Yes, and I don't see the exhibits in this document. I was hoping it would be at the end, 252 pages. Maybe the exhibits are in a separate document, or maybe they didn't provide them. But I was ready to see the Instacart orders. I wanted to see what Kim was slapping on Kyle's credit card. Okay, anything else that Kroy told you about they're still married, correct? Yes. Okay, anything else that he told you to lead you to believe that she was a danger to either yourself, Kyle, or your girls? Just her mental state. What did he specifically say about her mental state? That she was a narcissist and had a gambling problem, wasn't present for her children. Anything else? I don't remember at this time. Have you met him physically? One time. Where? At my cousin's house. And who is your cousin? Karen. Karen with an I. Okay, and where does she live? In Milton. And why did you meet him there? Because I just didn't want to be in a public place. I know he's a public, recognizable person. I just didn't want And then he interrupts her, as he often does. And who else attended that? Who else was there when you and him met in person? Myself and my cousin Karen. And that's it? Yes. And that's the only time that you've met with him physically? Yes. Have you had any type of sexual or romantic relations with him? No. So this lawyer's trying to suggest, okay, Kim got with Kyle. Did Jillian get with Kroy? She's like, no. Okay. Do you continue to talk, communicate with him via text or on the phone? No, I don't. Currently or? Yeah. No. Okay. When's the last time that you communicated with him? 2 months ago. So this was basically she hasn't talked with him since what, May? I guess Jillian's saying she has not talked with Kroy since May of 2025. This is as of June. Okay, and for what period of time were you and him communicating with one another? Just right after we had met. Okay, so did that last more than a month of communications or 2 months of communications? Maybe shortly over a month. Okay, and there were text messages between you and him? Yes. And did you produce those? No. Why not? I don't have them. You don't have them. Did you delete them? Yes. Okay, now, were you aware that, let me ask you this. Have you given Kroy the address of Kyle's new residence? No. Okay, would it surprise you to learn that Mr. Biermann was outside of Kyle's residence yesterday? Yes, well, he told me that he was. So I guess she means Kyle told her that, look, Kroy is outside the residence. Okay, and Kyle was concerned about that, correct? Yes. Were you concerned for your husband that this guy was sitting outside his house? I was not concerned for his physical safety. Do you have any idea why Kroy was sitting outside of Kyle's house? No. So I'm assuming Kyle did not call the police in this instance? I'm assuming, because I didn't get that 911 call if he did. Okay, and you never gave him his address? No. Okay, did Kroy tell you when you were communicating with him that he had been following Kyle? No. Okay. Did he tell you that he had seen Kyle with his wife? Yes. Okay, and is it your contention, in any way, shape, or form, that Kyle's relationship with Ms. Biermann started before the filing of this divorce case? No. So she's like, look, I'm not saying they started up, before he filed for divorce. Okay, so you're not making the allegation that Kyle was unfaithful to you with Kim, correct? Her lawyer chimes in. Can you ask that question again? Because I'm not sure I understood. Yeah. You're not alleging that Kim had anything to do with the demise of your marriage, are you? No. So she's not calling Kim a homewrecker. Okay, has Kroy been around your children? No. Has he ever met them? No. Has he ever been on a phone call or audio call or video call, I should say, when the girls have been with you? No. Okay, have you ever met his children? No. So I love her testimony. She's breaking it down like, look, don't even try it. It's almost like, sometimes I read this and I would be like, where are you going with these questions? But it's almost like he's alluding to, look, Jillian, did you send crazy Kroy over to Kyle's house? Why was he sitting out there? And have you introduced Kroy to your children? Are you with Kroy? Are you sleeping with him? Like, all these allegations, assumptions, or speculation, illusion, whatever you want to call it, he's kind of throwing out these questions at Jillian, and she's like, look, no. Now, I don't know why she deleted the text message exchange between her and Kroy, whatever, who knows. But let's move on to when Jillian's marriage breaks down. I hope I haven't called her Lillian earlier. I may have, because I see I've written it as Lillian at some points. But she talks about the demise of her marriage. It gets sad. I won't go into all the details. She does say, we don't have a relationship. And the lawyer's like, when's the last time you and Kyle engaged in any type of sexual relations? And she's like, in 2021. He's like, 2021? She's like, yes. So that was like when their twins were born. That's been 4 years ago. It's sad. Okay, why do you remember? What month and what were where were you guys if you remember specifically that was in 2021? She says October of. After I had found out about an affair that Kyle had, this is not with Kim, and we were going to therapy. So you found out about an affair that he had, then you had sex with him? She says. So the lawyer's he's trying to make it sound like that's not reasonable. To me, it's reasonable. Like, It happens, let me tell you. Jillian found out her husband was having an affair. They tried to work on their marriage, and then she ended up sleeping with her husband again. I don't want to say normal, but to me that's rational. He's like, wait a minute, you found out he had sex with someone else and then you slept with him? It happens, dude. Anyway, is that a yes? Yes. Okay, and that was in Georgia, or did you guys take a trip? We took a trip. You might hear the cane corso next door. I'm just gonna go for it. Where did you go? Old Edwards Inn. This is why it takes me so long to make these videos. I'm like, oh, let me look up Old Edwards Inn. Oh, it looks gorgeous. Oh, maybe we can go there one day. You know, I get off on these rabbit trails, but I just like to give you guys the visuals, a feel for bringing this to life, as sad as it is. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to ask you questions regarding the alleged affair, but for now, you're saying that when you had sex with him at the Old Edwards Inn, that was the last time that you and him were romantically involved, or sexually involved, I should say. I think there was one other time in our house. When? In Milton. Not long after, but I don't remember the month. Would it have been 2021, 2022, or 2023? 2021. 2021, okay. When do you consider your marriage to have been irretrievably broken with no hopes of reconciliation? Around that time in 21, we had gone to therapy. We had gone to a weekend therapy, weekend down in Boca Raton, Florida. Boca Raton. Okay. Is this still in 21? Yes. Okay, so what happened that you're telling me that you think it was in October or in fall of 2021? I'm sorry, can you please repeat? Yeah, what happened in your marriage that you're giving me that date as the time that you believe that's when your marriage was irretrievably broken with no hopes of reconciliation? Well, we had already had our struggles up until that point, and then that happened, and we went to therapy, and we didn't grow together or stronger, and I didn't feel, that trust was rebuilt. We kind of lived separate lives under the same roof. Okay. We weren't intimate. Were you continuing to live in the same house? Yes. Were you continuing to sleep in the same bed? Yes. Were you continuing to take trips with each other? Yes. Okay, who did you tell in October of 21 that you believe your marriage was irretrievably broken with no chance of reconciliation? I didn't use those words. You didn't use those words? What words did you use, and who did you tell? My therapist. So, Kyle's lawyer is honing in so much on last time you guys slept together was 2021. Didn't you say your marriage was over then? It's almost like he's trying to get to, that's why Kyle had every right to form this trust in 2021 and transfer hundreds of millions of dollars over into it. That's not going to fly. I'm sorry. No wonder she demanded a jury trial. If she gets any reasonable, rational thinking people, male, female, whatever race, on that jury trial, and they open up all these books, yeah, she'll get a good settlement, especially it's just the deception. That's the part that makes me sad. Someone who, if you've been there for him, and I'm not talking about anyone who married somebody just for his money or gold digging, they're going to talk about how, Kyle had a reasonable salary, he wasn't making all this money when they met. It's not like she met this billionaire and married him and now she's trying to get all this money out of him. It sounds like they met when they were both, of course, younger, and they kind of grinded or they worked together. And then Kyle has all this wealth that she's accusing him of transferring into a trust to hide from her. Okay, so regarding the divorce, Kyle filed for it. The lawyer's saying Kyle filed it. So help me understand why you didn't file a case or initiate divorce proceedings before Kyle did. And this was so sad. She said, because I didn't want it to be over. So and I get that, because people try for years and years. You love a person. You've known them nearly 20 years. You have their twin girls. You are, no matter how bad the marriage is, you still have this attachment, and you're probably still trying to work toward something. Like maybe this is just a bad patch, and if I hold on, maybe it'll be, this lawyer is trying to say, look, why didn't you file all those years ago? And he's just trying to make it sound like the marriage was kaput 4 years ago, before she even, approached an attorney. Anyway, I wrote Lillian again. I keep writing Lillian. Jillian's non-job as a mom. Believe me, it's not me saying that. It's what this attorney's alluding to. Okay, what were you doing for a living at that point in time? So they're talking about years ago, maybe when she met Kyle, perhaps Jillian met him. I was working for a title company, like a property title company. Where? Chicago. Okay, what was the name of it? Residential Title Services. And what were you doing for them? Processing. Okay, and what were you earning at that point in time? Approximately $30,000. Okay, and is that the most that you've earned before marrying Kyle? No. What's the most that you've earned? 50, I'm trying to think, 55 or 60,000 a year. And who was your employer? Med Market. So she's saying, look, there had been a long period of time without making money. And at the time we got married or shortly after, he did start to make more than we had had. So she's setting it clear. I mean, you can pull tax records. There's could be proof here. It's not like she married a billionaire and now she's trying to grab all his money. It sounds like the most she's ever made was 60 grand or whatever. I think she's going to talk about him starting to make serious money, maybe around 300 grand, which is not serious to me. Maybe around the time they got married or maybe earlier, somewhere in there. But at this point, she's saying, look, he started to make more than we had ever had around the time we got married. So it's almost like, look, don't try to play me like I married this billionaire and now I'm trying to do this gold-digging money grab. Did he have any substantial assets when he married you? No. Did he own a house? No. So she's saying, when I met him, when I married him, he didn't even own a house, which doesn't mean he didn't have a lot of money. I get it. But she's saying, look, when we got married, he didn't even own a house. So it's still like, don't play me, dude. Did he own a vehicle? He owned a vehicle, yes. Okay, did he mention in any way, shape, or form entering into a prenuptial agreement with you? No, so no prenup. Whew. Did you ask him to enter into a prenuptial agreement before getting married? No. Have you sought any type of employment since the girls were born? I started getting offended at this line of questioning. No. Okay, are you planning on going back to work? I don't know. Now, if this lawyer goes in there acting like this woman has birthed twins. First of all, it's more dangerous for women, everyone who knows, when you're having more than one baby. Like, pregnancy is difficult enough. When you start talking about twins or multiples, the danger in the pregnancy goes up. She will talk about kind of being on bed rest almost. And he's acting, I don't like when people phrase questions this way. And of course, maybe I'm sensitive about it because I was like a stay-at-home or a full-time mom. I don't want to, offend anyone by saying that. I did stay home for years with my children, and I did build my writing business and everything while I was doing it. I was multitasking, but I hate when people make it seem like stay-at-home mom isn't a job, like you're not doing anything. It's like, yes, we are, because if you had to hire a nanny or had to take these kids to daycare and you see how much kindercare costs, okay, you see it's a real job. Anyway, he's just like, have you sought any other employment? Anyway, give me the year that you believe Kyle started making a substantial amount of money. When I say a substantial amount of money, let's say more than $300,000 a year. She says, in about 2020, and that surprised me because when you think about it, that's only 5 years ago. Isn't this weird? Okay, something not adding up. Okay, in 2018, Kyle was making enough money to give a $100,000 donation to FSU, which is great. But he didn't start making a substantial amount of money, for let's say more than 300 grand a year until 5 years ago in 2020. Something's not adding up. Like, I don't know. He says 2020. And what do you recall particularly that you are giving me that year? She says we were able to buy our current home. The Milton residence? Yes. And this residence is fabulous, let me tell you. Maybe we'll see it in bodycam video. Okay, back to the non-job of being a mom, according to this lawyer. Okay, would you agree with me that if you want it, that you would have time during the time that the girls are in school to try and get some kind of part-time job? She goes, between 9:30 and 12:30? I love her for that. She's like, sure, if someone could hire me for those exact hours. Like, he goes through this rundown. I don't think I put it in here. Like, what do you do during the day? And she's just like, okay, I get up. The girls are only, 4? So they're like in some kind of preschool Christian school. They love it. They maybe want to keep the kids in that school. But, when they're that young, they're not in school for, all day. She's getting their breakfast, lunch ready, whatever, getting them ready. They get up really early, like 6 a.m. Get them together, get them to school, blah, 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 blah. Maybe she makes it back home by 9:30, but then she's got it just 3 hours later. she's got to go get them. It's not like a full day thing. And when she gets home, she talks about, straightening up, cleaning, doing whatever, and then beyond that, school taking them to all their different activities. And granted, she is going to talk about the help she used to have, in terms of nannies and stuff. But this dude has the nerve to say, would you agree with me that you could have some kind of job while the girls are in school? Some kind of part-time job? She's like, between 9:30 and 12:30? Like, dude, you probably work 80 hours a week. Like, dude, what kind of job am I going to get for 3 hours? Unless it's something, like me, I did build my business from home, become an entrepreneur. I understand that. But honestly, what kind of job are you going to find for 3 hours? And it wouldn't even be that long because you'd need time to get there and time to... Seriously. She's like, sure, if someone could hire me for those exact hours. How many of you know of a job right now, 5 days a week, just from 9:30 to 12:30? Anyway, this lawyer is going to get Kyle's name wrong, and apparently Kyle was there the way I read the paperwork, and he's going to chime in here. So, Jillian's lawyer says that if he wants to make a list of the things he wants out of the house, and, he's not going to, I don't know if you read the text messages from yesterday, but he said, it's my house, I can come. This has to deal with Jillian's worries about Kyle wanting to come to, their original main house to get his weapons. Jillian was kind of like, ugh, she's not proficient with weapons, but she was worried, I believe, about her husband's mental state, why he wanted them. I don't know if he wanted these weapons, and this is from the text message yesterday. So what happened the day prior? What happened June 15th, 2025? Apparently, Kroy was sitting outside of Kyle's house. So, part of me doesn't blame Kyle for, I don't know if he has any weapons at the new house. And, was Kim there? Was Kim's white Range Rover, or it's a Range Rover, in the driveway? And was Kroy sitting there seething, staring at them? I don't know what was going on. I get why Kyle wants protection. I understand that. But it sounds like Jillian was afraid, like, okay, what's about to happen? And she was hesitant to let Kyle come over and just grab up these weapons. So that's what they're talking about here. They're going back and forth. Apparently Kyle was mad. He's like, look, it's my house, I can get my stuff. And the lawyer's just saying, maybe just compose a list of what he wants, and maybe, I think, just come up with a calmer time where he can come collect his things. I don't know, maybe Jillian won't be there or whatever. Destitute? This is where he's like, look, Jillian, are you really destitute? Finally, as you may know, my client's husband has filed a petition for divorce in the Superior Court of Fulton County, and he recently cut off all funding to his wife and minor children, leaving them destitute. That's what Jillian's paperwork must have said somewhere. Do you see that? Yes. You're not taking the position that you're destitute, are you? I did not have access to any cash. Okay, do you feel that you are destitute? Yes or no? I have zero access to cash. You have zero access to cash, but you have access to credit cards, correct? Yes, but... He cuts her off. And all the bills of your household are being paid by Kyle, correct? Yes. Okay, notwithstanding the term destitute, you would agree with me that you have gone on various trips out of state since the case was filed, correct? Correct. How many trips have you taken out of the state since the divorce was filed? And tell me where you went. 3. You went to Washington, D.C.? Yes. For the White House Easter egg hunt? Yes. And you flew first class? No. Did you fly with the girls? Yes. Who else flew with you? I flew with the girls, and we had friends on the same flight, but... Okay, did you take a nanny with you? No. Did you take your sister with you? No. So, what's going on here is arguments about all these monies being put into a trust, becoming marital property. Depending on how the trust is structured, whether marital assets are commingled with trust assets, that's what's at the heart of this. And so, just like in Kim and Kroy's case, there's arguments over assets and money and jewelry. Jillian's talking about how her jewelry is missing. Her engagement ring was not there. He's like, okay. And I looked at him, she looked at Kyle, and I said, just stunned, because it was there 4 days prior when I left. Okay, and did you ask him if he had taken that? I looked at him and I said, Kyle, you took it. And what did he tell you? He didn't say anything. Okay, so he didn't admit or deny that he had taken it. Correct. Anything else that you believe was missing other than your engagement ring from the jewelry that was included in there? Well, he took the tennis bracelet. Okay. And the Cartier watch and diamond earrings from our wedding. Okay. And when he told you he was taking that, give me a time frame just so I have an idea. January of 2025? 25, yes. Okay. And have you seen that jewelry since? No. So, I don't know. Her husband took the jewelry. She hasn't seen it. Has he sold it? Is he going to give it to Kim? Does he have it? I don't know. But I know at a point, always following when a divorce begins to be filed, or at the beginning you're not supposed to transfer anything or sell stuff. So we'll see what happens there. There's frauds. There's threats. Kyle, according to Jillian, is threatening her with jail time. I didn't like this. You know, the mother of your kids, and when material stuff gets mixed in there, it's just the wrong motive. It's the wrong... I know it's a hard time going through divorce, and I know it sometimes becomes the war of the roses, but my goodness. Anyway, okay, so he confronted you saying words to the effect, hey, I just discovered that you were writing these checks without my permission. In a text in March, when he had asked for me to fill out refinance paperwork for the Haystack home, and I had said, please, it must go through the attorneys. And then he said, we have hired a team of experts to get you for check fraud. This means jail time, period. He told you that? Yes, I didn't like that. So she's accusing him of, transferring all this money. But this check stuff, it's this weird account. It's interesting that he had named it something, but according to Jillian, Kyle always let her write checks if it's places that, needed to accept a check for whatever reason. If it's some place that didn't accept a check, if it's something like a Venmo for the girls' lessons or whatever, Kyle would pay that. Other places, she had to write a check. If there wasn't enough cash or whatever, he'd say, just write a check out of this account. So, and then all of a sudden, he took away her access to writing checks out of that account. Now he's saying, hey, I just discovered you were writing these checks without my permission, as if he didn't know about it or something. And she's just like, please send it all through the attorneys. And then he's like, we've hired a team of experts to get you for check fraud. This means jail time, period. I don't know what's true or not. I can't pick a side, but I just don't like when it gets that way. Now back to Kroy Biermann and Kyle's concerns for his mental health. Okay, what? And I asked you questions before about Mrs. Biermann, but have you reached out to Kim at all? No. Okay. What do you want to know about her other than the information that Mr. Biermann provided to you? I have watched her on TV for years and just seen in many articles online that her life is filled with drama and she's in a very nasty divorce. I've heard from others locally in the community that have gone to the same school that her children who recently went to, that she's dramatic and didn't show up much for her children's activities. So you don't believe that she would be a positive sort of presence in your children's life? Is that fair to say? Correct. Okay. Do you have any idea whether she's even met the girls at this point? I don't know. Back then in June, Jillian didn't know. Okay, did Mr. Biermann lead you to believe that she has met the kids? No. Okay, and to be clear, you testified earlier that you haven't texted with Mr. Biermann in quite some time, correct? Correct. So this is, and I just want to make sure that I understand sort of the extent of your communications with him. This is not someone that you are communicating with on even a monthly basis? Correct. Okay, and you don't want him involved in your life? Correct. Is that fair to say? Yes. Okay. Would you? So if he texts you, would you respond or would you just ignore him? So her attorney's like, look, I think that's a hypothetical. He goes, okay, do you have any reason to reach out to him? No. Okay, do you want him to sort of leave you alone? I don't know what's the point of that question. I mean, I'm not afraid to ignore if he were to call or text. Okay, has Kyle told you that he is concerned about Mr. Biermann's mental health? Yes. Okay, has he told you that he doesn't want, you or specifically the girls around him? He hasn't said those words, but you have no intentions of having the girls be around him, correct? No intentions. Did you meet did the girls, have you bumped into him accidentally with the girls at any point? No. In time? No. So to the best of your knowledge, your girls have not been anywhere around him? Correct. Okay, have you seen any videos that have been posted online about Mr. Biermann's interactions with the police? I don't believe so. No? Okay. And you told me previously you haven't given him any money, correct? I believe she says no, and then it's like, Kroy Biermann, did you tell him about the tax bill? No, she says, because there's a tax payment, 200-something thousand, which is a drop in the bucket for, hundreds of millions guy over here. The lawyer's trying to say, did you even know you guys owe 200-something thousand, Anyway, and what's up with all this questioning about Mr. Biermann? And yeah, Kroy has seemed unhinged, so I can understand why Kyle might not want Kroy around his daughters. I totally get that. But it's a little hypocritical in a way if Kim, who has her own drama, I don't know if she's dangerous or anything, but it's a little hypocritical that Kyle is so much like, keep Kroy away, away. This is where Jillian says she didn't even know about that $100,000 FSU gift. Have there been any financial decisions that Kyle has made that you have had a fundamental disagreement with during your marriage to him? I guess in maybe 2018, Jillian says, I saw an article where my name was listed, and they do talk about her in that article. It was about Kyle donating $100,000 to Florida State University, and I didn't know about it. And so that created a bit of an argument. Is that the donation that his brother also made, or was it just Kyle? I don't know if his brother made a donation. Was that article, did it include a reference to his brother? There's a picture of he and his brother. Okay, so that's all the parts I pulled out of her June deposition that were the most interesting to me. Let's move on with this timeline and get to the police reports. I got one from June 25th, 2025. Kyle, the homeowner, I guess mistakenly set off the alarm. Event report. It was 7:56 p.m. I'm like, was it Kim? Maybe, maybe not. It says burglary, wireless EE side door. Maybe just a mistake. There was no body cam, so that was just one of those, oops, homeowner sets off the alarm. Now, body cam video, July 20th, 2025, and we're going to hear the audio. I'll play that 911 call and show you the first verbal dispute between Kim's boyfriend and his wife, Jillian, where the police were called to his house.
You have reached Alpharetta Emergency Call Center non-emergency line. All of our call takers are busy.
Alpharetta Milton, Police and Fire.
Yes, sir. I've informed my ex-wife not to be on my property, and she's trespassing, and we have an order for exclusive use of my property, but she will not leave. Could you send someone else? Alpharetta.
Tell me that address again, make sure I've got it right.
Yes, sir. Drive.
What's the phone number you're calling from? And your name, sir? Last name? Okay, sir, tell me exactly what happened.
Well, she's still here and will not leave. And I have a, exclusive order from the court that gives me, temporary exclusive use of this house, and she's sitting in the driveway and won't leave. She's trying to pick up my daughters. I was supposed to drop them off, but she just won't leave.
Okay, is the daughter still there? Just for clarification.
They are. I'm not letting them out because I don't understand what she's doing. I was supposed to drop them off, and she's decided to sit in my driveway.
Okay. And are you at the location now?
I am, yes, sir.
Does anyone have access to weapons?
I do, yes, sir. I have an access to a gun.
Okay.
It's in a safe, though, sir. I don't have it out or anything like that.
Okay. And is it a pistol?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm putting that information in the call. All right, and how many people are involved?
There looks to be a passenger with my wife in her car, so it's just me and my wife, and she has a passenger in our car. I'm not sure who it is.
Okay, I need to get your wife's description. Is she white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
She's white, 5'4", blonde hair.
Hang on one second, sir. I got to talk on the radio.
Okay.
Is do a change of location on the interrupted headquarters. Just put me out there. And how old is she?
40.
And what's she wearing? Can you see?
I can't really tell. I apologize.
What kind of vehicle is she in?
She's in a black or gray Range Rover. Gray Range Rover.
Okay, and what's her name?
Last name.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Are you or anyone else in danger right now?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay, and how old is this child that's on scene?
Identical twins, 4 years old. 2 girls. They're in my house now, so they're safe.
Has anyone involved in using alcohol or drugs?
I don't know about who's in the car, but not here. Not for me.
The resident of 507 closer. Okay, hang on 1 second, sir. I got to talk on the radio, so we're going to get help started your way, but I got to talk on the radio right now, okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir, for safe use of separate yourself from her and avoid further contact. Do not disturb
Yes,
any
sir.
other scene. Have all the paperwork available for the responding officers. An officer will be dispatched as soon as possible. Call us back if anything's changing or if you have any further information. Thank you, sir. We'll send an officer out as quick as we can.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're going to, like, give them to them because it's, like...
Do not hang up. All of our call takers are busy processing emergency calls. Do not hang up. Your call will be answered as soon as possible. Do not hang up. Disconnecting the line will delay your response. Do not hang up.
(911) what's the address of the emergency?
Hi, in Alpharetta, it's a non-emergency.
Okay, can you just repeat the address for verification, please?
Yes, Drive in Alpharetta.
Okay. What's the phone number you're calling from?
I'm calling from 6.
194. Okay, I see that. And your name?
My name is Jill.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, a custody dispute. I came to pick up my children for the court order and to get them up at 5 p.m. Today, and I'm having this dispute with my soon-to-be ex-husband, and he will not release the children to me.
Okay, and that's at that address?
Yes, I'm in his driveway, and he said to leave his property.
Okay. Okay. At the location. Does anyone have any access to weapons?
Yes, but he does have. I'm pretty sure he has a gun in the house.
Okay. Can you describe the gun to me?
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm just updating information. Just bear with me.
Okay.
Okay. What is your husband's description? Is he black, white, Asian, Hispanic?
White, about 6 foot.
Okay. How old is he?
44.
Okay. Do you happen to see what he's wearing right now?
He's wearing tan shorts and a black t-shirt.
Okay. Can I get your description, ma'am?
My description?
Yes, sir.
I am white, 5'4", blonde hair up in a ponytail. I have a green t-shirt on and black shorts, and I'm in my vehicle in the driveway.
And how old are you?
I am 41.
Okay. And can you give me your car's description?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Your vehicle's description? The color?
Oh, yes, it's a charcoal-colored Range Rover. It's about a 2023.
So about a gray Range Rover? Dark
Yeah.
gray? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. And how many people are involved, including your children? Is you, your husband, and how many cousins do you have?
We only have the 2 children that are here. They're twin 4-year-olds.
He's inside the house with the children?
He's inside the house with the children. His parents may be in there. I see their vehicle out in the driveway.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're talking to my partner.
Okay.
Are you or anyone else in danger right now?
In danger, did you say?
Yes.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. And your children are 2 and 4?
They're both 4-year-old twins.
They're both 4, okay.
And I have my friend with me in my vehicle and my dog.
Have anyone been involved using alcohol or drugs?
No, I have not, and I don't believe he has, but I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, ma'am, we have officers en route. If you happen to see him or if he comes outside, just separate yourself from him and avoid further contact.
Okay.
And also,
Should I park in the street? Should I get out of the driveway?
Yeah, you just stay in the vehicle. An officer will be dispatched as soon as possible. Call us back if anything changes or if you have any further information.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Good, how are you? So what's going on?
We have a temporary order. My wife pulled up here to get my kids. I was supposed to drop them off at her house. And she just said she's coming. And she came up in the driveway and just sat here and demanded that, all these things that I asked her to leave, and she wouldn't. And she knew I called the police, so she pulled off the property over to here. And she's waiting for my kids, but I told her I was going to drop her off at the house. So
okay, is there a certain time that
it's supposed to be 5 o'clock, but she came here, and like I said,
you're supposed to be over there at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, she originally said to drop them off, but then she just showed up here. I have that in text that she just showed up, and I said, well, you're trespassing, and I have a temporary order for her not to be on the property. And so, look, it's not a huge deal. I told the guy on the phone, but I'm trying to put my girls in the car, and I was planning on. I just don't want her on my property, which is not supposed to.
I'm just gonna have her leave, and then you.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's all I tried to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna find the boss.
Okay. How you doing, man? What's going on?
We're going through divorce, and we have a temporary.
I'm gonna stand over here just in case a car passes by.
Okay. Temporary custody arrangement, and the girls were.
Hello.
Hi. This is my friend and neighbor Jamie. We're with him for the custody arrangement from Thursday until Sunday at 5 p.m. And I have come here to pick them up, and he will not.
So are you supposed to come here to pick them up, or was he gonna drop them off? Because he says that he has a text message to you.
Well, at 4:54, he asked if they were, if he was bringing them there, or if he wanted me to bring them to him, or if I was picking them up. And I texted, please drop them off. But then he said, will I be, can I get my phone to?
Please.
Okay.
Watch yourself.
Oh. Picking girls up or want me to drop off? I said, please drop them off. And he said, and prior to that, will I be getting the required requests that are under the order? Girls don't want to leave. He's referring to, I'm traveling with them tomorrow, and I've provided all the information necessary under the order for the travel. And so I said, I'm on my way to your house to pick up the girls. Because I pulled the order out, and I realized that I'm supposed to be picking them up. So I came here.
Okay.
And it says in the order.
If you guys agree, because, again, he has a text message saying the same thing you're telling me. So if you guys agreed that he was going to take them.
But it was
you have to
5:50.
It's between them two, miss.
No.
I don't want to.
No, like that.
Okay. Like I said, there's a text message between both of you guys came to an agreement that he was going to take them.
He didn't agree.
You said that he was going to drop them off.
Well, no.
At 4:54.
No, he asked, will you be picking up girls or want me to drop off?
And you said, please drop them off.
I said, please drop them off, but then he said, and prior to that, will I be getting the required requests that are under the order? Girls don't want to leave. And I said, I'm on my way to your house. My attorney advises that I have complied with my notice obligations per the parent. And he said, you have not. You are not allowed on my property. Do not come. So.
Okay, are you not allowed to be on this property? Because according to him, you were like in the driveway.
Well, because that's how according to the order, I'm supposed to pick them up, and I didn't realize.
Understood. Are you supposed to be on the property?
What?
It's yes or no?
You've never been told otherwise. I've never been told that until just now.
Okay, so there's no order saying you can't be on the property?
No.
Okay. I'm going to talk to him. He let me know that he was going to, I think it's girls, twins. He was going to take them to you now. Guess as soon as you leave. He just didn't want you here on his property.
Okay.
So he called us, and then I saw you called us, but...
Yeah, because my attorney said to, because in the order it says that, and I didn't realize this, but in the order
that you were
it says
supposed to
that
pick them up?
I'm supposed to pick them up here.
Go based off that, because now he's saying that you can drop them off.
Last Sunday, I was on my way here. Well, 2 Sundays ago when he had them, I was on my way here, and I texted, I'm on my way, and he said, I'm on my way. So I turned around. I said, oh, okay. So I turned around, and so I was thinking that must be what the order said. So
I'll let him know. And do you live far from here?
I'm in Milton, like 10 minutes away.
So if in half hour he doesn't take him over there, just give us a call, and we'll figure it out, okay? But for now, either way, it's obviously a civil issue where there's not much we can do for you. Whatever agreement you guys came to, I'm going based strictly off the text.
So even if
he
the
agreed,
order says that I'm supposed to...
That's what I'm saying. All of this is civil. It has nothing to do with police. We only deal with criminal issues. Okay? So what I'm trying to do is basically separate both parties. You go where you're supposed to be, because according to him, you're not supposed to be here. And that way he can go take your daughters, and like I said, if half hour you have the same issue, give us a call back and then we'll go from there, okay?
Okay, so if the children aren't returned and they're supposed to have been per the order, then you...
It's in violation of that order. You would contact your lawyer, and you guys can figure something out from there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. So she says she lives, I guess, 10 minutes away?
Not even, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just down the road, Providence.
I'll let you know. Same thing I let her know.
Yes, sir.
It's obviously a civil issue. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with police. But the order that she has in her hands state that I guess she's supposed to pick them up.
No.
And that you guys text. I already
she
I
said
already
please
told
drop
her.
them off. So
I told her that. I said,
Okay.
"What? Go based off the order." She switched it. That's on her, which is fine. But yeah,
I got you.
Take the girls over there. And
Yeah, I am. I was doing it. Then she showed up, pulled up my driveway.
make sure it's on time. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, I got that.
Because it says 5. She showed me it says 5, and
Yeah.
at 4:54, you guys were texting. But whatever the case is, just in case.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll deal with it. I'm taking them now.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I said, I'm on my way to your house to pick up the girls, because when I read the order out, and I realized that I'm supposed to be picking them up, so I came here.
Okay.
And it says in the order.
If you guys agree, because, again, he has a text message saying the same thing he's telling me. If you guys agree that he's going to take them,
But it was
you have to...
5:50.
It's between them two, miss.
No,
You
no.
don't want to...
No, I got
Okay.
it.
Like I said, text message between both of you guys came to an agreement that he was going to take
He
them.
didn't agree.
I'm going to... You said that he was going to drop them off.
Well, no,
4:54.
no, he asked, will you be picking up girls or want me to drop off?
And you said, please drop them
I
off.
said, please drop them off, but then he said, and prior to that, will I be getting the required requests that are under the order? And I said, I'm on my way to your house to make sure advisors that I have complied with my notice obligations per the parenting plan order. And he said, you have not, you are not allowed on my property, do not come. So,
Are you not allowed to be on this property? Because according to him, you were like in the driveway.
according to the order, I'm supposed to pick them up and he didn't.
Understood. Are you supposed to be on the property? It's yes or no?
You've never been told otherwise.
I've never been told that.
Okay. So there's no order saying you can't be on the property?
No.
Okay. And when I talked to him, he let me know that he's going to, I think it's girls, twins, that he was going to take them to you now, I guess as soon as he leaves. He just didn't want you here on the property. So he called us, and then I saw you called us, but...
Yeah, my attorney said to, because in the order, and I didn't realize this, but in the
that you were supposed to do.
pick them up.
Go based off that, because now he has a message saying that he can drop them
Because
off.
last Sunday, I was on my way here. Well, 2 Sundays ago when he had them, I was on my way here, and I texted, I'm on my way, and he said, I'm on my way. So I turned around. I said, oh, okay. So I turned around, and so I was thinking, what the work was. So
I'll let him know, and how, do you live far from here?
I'm in Milton, just 10 minutes away.
So if in half an hour he doesn't take him over there, just give him a call, and we'll figure it out, okay? But for now, either way, it's obviously a civil issue. There's not much we can do for you. Whatever agreement you guys came to, I'm going based strictly off the text.
So even if
He
the order
agreed.
says that I'm supposed to...
That's what I'm saying. All of this is civil. It has nothing to do with police. We only deal with criminal issues.
Okay.
So basically separate both parties. Go where you're supposed to be, because according to him, you're not supposed to be here. And that way he can go take your daughters, and like I said, if half hour you have the same issue, give us a call back and we go from there.
Okay, so if there's an art return, and it's supposed to have been per the order, then
In violation of that order, you would contact the lawyer, and else we'll figure something out from there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Still nothing we can do. So that's good enough.
You said she lives, I guess, 10 minutes away?
Not even, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just down the road from Providence.
I'll let you know. Same thing, I'll let her know. Just her problem.
Yeah,
Nothing to
no
do with police. But she has in her hands state that I guess she's supposed to pick them up.
No.
And that you guys agreed through text.
Drop them off.
I told her that. I said, well, go based off the order. She switched it, that's on her. It's fine. But,
yeah, I got you.
take the girls over there.
Yeah, I am. I was doing it. She showed up, pulled up my driveway.
Make sure it's on time. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, I got that.
It says 5. She showed me it says 5, and
Yeah.
at 4:54 you guys were texting. But whatever the case is, just in case.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. I'll deal with it. I'm taking that.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, so it was July 20th, 2025 at 5:29 p.m. 44-year-old Kyle called the police. And that same day, only 1 minute later, that 41-year-old Jillian, his soon-to-be ex-wife, called police too. It's interesting that Kyle says that Jillian was 40, but she told police she's actually 41. And I think he got her height wrong too. They talk about how the caller said, my ex-wife, he's already calling her his ex. Nothing's final yet. Ex-wife is on the scene. She's not supposed to be here. She's in the driveway. The mother's parked outside the home in a dark gray Range Rover waiting on police. It's just a mix-up. The mother is at the address to pick up the children, and the father won't let the children go with mom. And this is where it gets petty to me. They're both very calm. I will give them that. It's not like Kim and Kroy. They're both seemingly very calm. He's a white male, 44, tan shorts, black t-shirt, height 6 feet tall. Custody dispute over their young kids, 4-year-old twins. Kyle was right there inside with the girls. I don't know how it had to come to this. Jillian said Kyle told her to get off his property, and he's claiming Jillian's not supposed to be here. It's just sad to me. Kyle said he told Jillian he was going to drop off the girls at 5 o'clock, but instead she showed up at his house. He said he has an order for her not to be at the house, so he was trying to put his girls in the car. Oh, and then he texted Jillian, I guess, the girls don't want to leave. So the chief complaint is this verbal domestic dispute. Very sad. Whatever's happening, and you'll hear the back and forth, or maybe you've already heard the back and forth. It's just sad. Whether she was supposed to be on the way, because sometimes she says, okay, I'm coming, and then I'm coming over your house, and he's like, oh, on my way. And part of me wonders, is Kim here during any of these times, and is that why he doesn't want Jillian coming over? Or, they have an order, so it should be pretty easy, and you can't just say, oh, the girls don't want to leave. Yeah, the kids might not want to leave, but if it's a court order that says whatever, hopefully you can work it out. I know there's hurt feelings, but let's say the girls were having fun doing whatever. They don't want to leave. Okay, could Jillian be the bigger person and say, oh, if it's okay, then I'll come later at 7, or what time do you want me to come back? Or can you drop them off at my house later? Not as a ploy to say she's violating the court order, but as a way to mediate amongst themselves. Like, okay, this divorce is happening, we're breaking up, let's just figure out a good way to co-parent. Or could he have chilled out and say, okay, girls, your mom is right there in the driveway. Just run right out. Jillian doesn't have to come up to the door or whatever. I don't have to call the police because she's in my driveway. Head on out to your mom's car. Okay, I see you got in. Okay, bye. It could be that simple. Do police need to get involved? No. The next body cam video. It's hard to understand because I feel like I didn't get paperwork, but it happened August 16th, 2025. It was about a vintage car. The VIN number, but guess whose car looks like it's in the driveway? That white Range Rover. So part of me is like, is Kim there? Is she watching through the window? I'm looking through the windows.
Operator Milton, Police and Fire. Hello. I have been asked to call you by the DMV. I need to get a VIN number verified so I can register a car.
What's your address?
Alpharetta.
Go ahead and repeat the address for me. Make sure I copied it correctly.
What is it? Meadow. Excuse me. Sorry.
What's the phone
In
number you're
Alpharetta.
calling from?
Pardon me?
The phone number you're calling from?
3.
I do see that. What is your name?
First name is. Last name is.
Okay. And it's a VIN verification on what?
It's a 1966 Ford Fairlane.
Are you at that location now?
I am here right now.
Okay, we'll have an officer dispatched as soon as possible. Just call us back if anything changes or if you have any further information, but we'll have them to you as soon as we can.
Can I ask you a question? If I'm personally not here, but my son is here, is it all right if he shows the officer the car? I have all the paperwork from the DMV.
As long as the paperwork's there, that should be fine.
Now, should I fill out the first part of the paperwork that has my name and address and all that sort of thing, so all the officer has to do is put his signature on it? Or does he fill everything out?
I really couldn't tell you. As long as you have
Don't
the
know.
form, that's all I know. Yeah.
Yep, I do. I do have the form, and I have the title, and I've showed where the VIN numbers are on the car.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm going to move this bike. It might be a little easier. Sorry. Okay. Here's the paperwork. There's 2 copies in case there was a mess up in filling it out. And then, are you guys so hot?
Yeah, we've been standing in the sun for a little bit.
There's a pen if you need.
Okay, yeah, I've got a pen.
Here's the car and then the VIN.
Gotcha.
And then I can show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
And who does it belong to?
Frank Mowitz.
Is he here?
He just left.
Okay. Does he have a driver's license? So, because I got to put down his information. Is this registered to him too?
No, his son.
Okay. The other one?
They're all in his son.
Okay.
Hi, he needs, can you send over a copy of your driver's license? Okay. How long? They're 12 minutes away. Could they come back and give you his license? Is that okay? Can you guys wait 12 minutes? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, see you. All right, cool. Thank you. Bye. And then also, if you can't read it there.
No, I got it.
You did? Okay.
It's like another one up here on the.
Yeah, on the.
How you doing? Good. How you doing?
They're nice police officers, girls. They're not scary. I called Frank when they needed driver's license or copy, but he said they'll just turn around their 12 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Do we need anything out of the folder? Okay.
I didn't. Actually, we got a tag on it from North Carolina. I'm going to go hit the knock on the door. 9. Let me go knock on the door real quick.
Hi. Here's your hip roll off.
Hello, buddy.
Hi. He's armless. Hi. You're so cute.
Hello, buddy. Hello. Hello.
Come on, girl. Come on. Is it nice? Okay. Here's the paperwork. Move this bike. It might be a little clearer. Sorry. Okay. Here's the paperwork. There's 2 copies in case there was a mess up and someone cut out.
Gotcha.
And then, are you guys still hot?
Yeah, we've been standing in the sun for a little bit. So,
Cool. Here's a pen if you need.
okay, yeah, we got a pen.
There's the car and then the VIN.
Gotcha.
And then I can show you.
Yeah, you can figure out where it's at.
Yeah, there's
And who does it belong to?
Frank Mowitz.
Is he here?
He just left.
Okay. Does he have a driver's license? Because I got to put down his information as being the owner. Is this registered to him too?
No, his son.
Okay. The other one?
They're all in his son.
Okay.
He literally just left a couple weeks ago. He's got a sick dog. Hi, he needs over a copy of your driver's license. Okay. How long? They're 12 minutes away. Could they come back and give you his license? Is that okay? Can
Yeah.
you guys wait 12 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you. And then also, if you can't read it there.
No, I got it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Where is this? It's like another one up here on the.
Yeah, on the. Right here.
Oh wow. Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool.
6A, yeah, 47C1827 61. Yep.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
They're nice police officers. They're not scary.
Hello.
Call Frank and Danny did driver's license copy, but he said they'll just turn around and come back there.
Oh, okay.
Need anything out of the folder?
No, no.
Because it's got tag. We'll run that.
There's something about this 1966 Ford Fairlane there, and their values can vary significantly. Good condition models can be like, about $24,000, and top tier ones can reach much higher figures. So whoever Ford Fairlane it was dealing with the cops to get it out, whoever owns the car or has the paperwork or whatever is only 12 minutes away, so the cop said he would wait on them. Let's talk about September 20th, 2025. Kim is served, and she's pissed. It was 7:14 p.m. This person served a non-party witness, Kim. It says, I noted the arrival of the witness in her known white Land Rover SUV. It's pretty known. I'm surprised it hasn't been repossessed yet or something. Maybe she doesn't owe anything on it. As the witness exited her vehicle, so Kim is exiting her vehicle to retrieve items from the back seat, the server pulled in behind the vehicle, called her name, Kim. The witness, who matched her confirmed description and provided photos, answered to her name. I handed her the documents in a sealed envelope and advised her of the contents. I then departed the area. I hope they got that on video. Whew. September 30th, 2025. Kyle says Jillian's subpoena of Kim intended to annoy and embarrass Kim. So it says, despite the subpoena being devoid of requests for the production of documentary and tangible evidence, out of an abundance of caution, Kim further objects to requests set forth in this Exhibit A. Kim calls them unreasonable, oppressive, and intended to annoy and embarrass her. For example, one request is asking Kim to produce all documentation of Kim's communication with some Cade Leonard. He's the son of someone, Jillian's friend, who overheard some conversation. It's in the documents. Similarly, request number 10 asks Kim to produce all this documentation, communications with Jenny Doyle. I saw her. She's like big-time realty woman down there. Read the documents if you want to see her alleged involvement. It's getting juicy. Request 11 asks Kim to produce any and all documents regarding or relating to all contact between Kroy and Kyle. And then these other, Cade and Jenny, are non-parties in the matter, and Kroy, we know, is Kim's estranged husband. It talks about Kim and Kroy's single-family residence being valued at $5.5 million. It was first put on the real estate market, this is what I Googled, by Jenny Doyle for $6 million in 2023 before they slashed the price to below $4 million in August. Let's talk about everything Jillian wants. All these communications between Kim and Kyle and the third party, and all these communications between some other woman, Joanna Roshani, regarding payment for services or employment, Kyle, Jillian, their children, divorce. Now, Joanna is described as this forefront leader in resolving problems while creating solutions to improve operational efficiency and employment success. I was like, is she a crisis manager? Or sounds like a business woman, help people be more productive. All communications that refer to Kyle, Jillian, their children, their divorce, social media postings, photos, comments, messages that pertain to Kyle, regardless of whether he's identified by name. All these gifts that Kyle has given Kim, or any business which she's connected, all documents pertaining to financial relationship with Kyle, not limited to gifts received, expenses paid. You know, has Kyle paid any of Kim's expenses, or any business which he's connected, monies loaned to Kim, monies paid to Kim by Kyle, any businesses which he's connected to her, all documentation regarding travel with or involving Kyle, travel arrangements. That's fair game because, I mean, Kyle's lawyer is asking Jillian about all her trip. Did you fly first class? No. And what if Kyle is jetting off with Kim first class somewhere? That's fair game. Itinerary, where you stayed, payment, all expenses, all gifts you've given to Kyle, Cade, Jenny, all contact and documents between Kroy and Kyle related to it, documentation of all credit card purchases charged on credit cards furnished by or paid on your behalf by Kyle. So Kim, Is Kyle breaking you off a black credit card, black Amex or something? Now, we get to October 14th, 2025. Kim's 42-page document full of exhibits, which we don't see the exhibits. She's complaining about where she was served, her invasion of privacy. She was trying to quash the subpoena. It did not work. She's claiming it should be modified to ensure her testimony, Kim's testimony, is used only for the purposes of discovery. I don't know, I'm checking that docket. If I can find it, I will purchase it and upload it below. I want to see what Kim says. It's saying whatever desire Jillian purportedly once had to employ discretion in serving the subpoena on Kim apparently and inexplicably evaporated during the process of negotiating the confidentiality agreement. Public figure or not, there was no justifiable reason for Kim to be served on the weekend at her child's school and in front of her child, his classmates, and other parents. Oh well, this tripped me out. The media has targeted Kim and her family for years, and without judicial intervention, there's nothing to prohibit or deter news outlets from publicly disseminating Kim's private info obtained at her deposition. Exactly, it's public record. That's how I got this. It's public record. The media has not targeted Kim for years. She chose to go on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She chose all that money, all those episodes. She chose to do the spinoff, Don't Be Tardy. She chose to put herself in the public arena for us to view her, and she's claiming the media's targeted her. Anyway, subpoena commands that Kim appear for deposition on October 15th, 2025. So she must have appeared 10 days ago. She was commanded. It says verification. Kim personally appeared. Kimberly Marie Zolciak appeared before the undersigned attesting officer. So I'm going to keep checking that docket because I don't know what is truly confidential, what's sealed, what's not. I hope it's not sealed. I want to get Kim's deposition. Now, 4 days later, no wonder TMZ is finding out about it. October 19th, 2025, 4 days after Kim sat for this deposition. You know TMZ has people like whispering in their ear. TMZ says Kim Zolciak spotted at sleepover at new boyfriends. TMZ says our sources say they started dating in the spring, and Kyle's already met several of Kim's kids. I don't know which ones. It's Kim's first serious relationship since she and Kroy divorced, though it's not without its own drama. So it's saying Kyle met several of Kim's kids. I thought Kim had met his kids too. That part I'm not sure about. Any future divorces finally going to happen and marriages? Will Kim marry Kyle and drain him dry? Prenup, anyone? I bet you he'll get a prenup now. The next date on the docket so far, March 26, 2026, 9 a.m. It's a 120-day conference before Judge Kelly Lealerby. I don't know. I don't want to request to sit on that, but courtroom 8B. We'll see what happens with this couple. Esther, 2-9-10. She pleased him and won his favor. Immediately, he provided her with beauty treatments and special food. I wonder what. He assigned to her 7 female attendants, selected from the king's palace, and moved her and her attendants into the best place in the harem. Esther had not revealed her nationality and family background because Mordecai had forbidden her to do so. Thank you so much for watching all this. Again, stay tuned. We'll see what else I get on this case. It's sad. It's scary when divorces, drama, Real Housewives, Bravo TV people, a lot of those housewives have their own body cam videos. You know, I got Karen Hugers. Remember that? Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm trying to get Wendy and Eddie's for Real Housewives of Potomac. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens. People put themselves out there and they want to, show off their wealth and they want to show off their fabulous lifestyles, and it turns into something like this. Messy divorces, sadness. I hate to see marriages break up. It's like, ugh. And I hate to see it even worse when it touches the true crime world. I'm not saying a crime actually happened, but in some of these cases, remember the video, Kroy was actually put in cuffs one time. He was just slightly detained. He wasn't arrested, but it made the kids freak out. Some of them were going off on Kim. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen with these divorces? I'll follow up on this case, many other cases. Thank you so much for watching all of this. Take care.